I'm Edgar Parnell, and I'm posting a series of videos that deal with some critical issues for co-ops and all other types of self-help enterprises. That's SHEs for short. In this session, I outline the economic system required to operate successful, genuine SHEs. In commercial businesses, the economic system needs to facilitate profit maximisation. In co-ops and all other types of self-help enterprises, they must use an economic system that enables the enterprise to achieve its purpose while optimising the use of the resources deployed in the process. First, I best briefly explain the concept of resource optimization. This means making full and productive use of all tangible assets when utilizing land, buildings and finance, also controlling all costs within the enterprise, at the same time making the best use of people's skills by working productively, creatively and smarter, all in pursuit of the agreed purpose and function of the enterprise. This concept also embraces the idea of stewardship, which means that SHEs need to take the long view about the impact on their members and their families' futures. This means limiting their reliance on non-renewable resources and minimizing the negative impact of their enterprise on the environment. The self-help economic system is built upon a set of practices designed to facilitate the achievement of the enterprise's purpose and to focus on its function. However, as with all forms of enterprise, SHEs cannot afford to ignore the discipline supplied by the market and a raft of universal economic realities. These realities include the requirement to remain viable, solvent, and maintain an adequate level of liquidity. The self-help economic system is designed to ensure that the enterprise achieves its purpose. At the same time, this system supports the foundation practices that underpin this form of organization. These foundation practices are explained in my video, Understanding the System of Organization. The self-help economic system consists of a set of 10 interdependent practices. Let us now examine these practices. Number 1, the enterprise must be managed so that it is focused on achieving its purpose. Achieving the enterprise's purpose must be at the heart of every decision, including all economic decisions. Number 2, the enterprise must stick to its true function, which is intervening in markets in the best interest of its members. This requires that SHEs develop and implement a viable and sustainable market intervention strategy. This diverges from commercial businesses that often seek to exploit a market by trading on the weaknesses of their customers, suppliers, and employees. Number 3, the enterprise must be self-sustaining within the market. This means sustaining viability, solvency, liquidity, and not having a dependency upon the state, any charity, or any other form of patronage, recognizing that SHEs, as with all independent forms of enterprise, that they have to compete in the market for all the resources that they need to employ. Number 4. In SHEs, the form of ownership used is beneficial mutual ownership. Here, members mutually own their enterprise, but only while they remain qualified members. This means the corporate body, which is the enterprise, owns and controls the assets used by the enterprise. Individual members own their investments in the enterprise, but SHEs cannot offer outright ownership. Instead, they provide members with a method of ownership that secures the long-term future of the enterprise. Number 5. SHEs must remain sovereign, which means be fully independent. This also means financing the enterprise using only benign sources. Ideally, they should be financed by their members, but otherwise only utilizing finance from non-members when this will not compromise member control. The owners of finance are entitled to receive a fair reward for the use of their finance, but providers of finance do not directly share in any surplus because this belongs to the members. Instead, finance must only be rewarded based on the market rate for its use. Finance that brings with it any risk that may compromise the sovereignty of the enterprise is unacceptable. Number 6. SHEs must maintain equitable relationships between all members. Equivalence needs to be reflected in the prices set for goods or services offered or supplied by SHEs. Such prices are primarily determined by the market within which the enterprise must operate. It does not mean that everyone is charged the same price whether they buy one item or 1,000 items, but it does mean that every member is entitled to get the same deal, but the price they pay may need to reflect any differences in the level of costs involved. This replaces a practice used in commercial businesses where different prices or terms are often offered to different people, where the prices are set based on the idea that they charge whatever they can get away with. This is a kind of opportunistic pricing, which may include offering secret deals to some customers and paying different rates of pay to workers for people doing the same job. Treating all members with fairness is a crucial factor in maintaining the trust and commitment, which can be soon lost if members discover that they are being treated unfairly. Number 7. SHEs must be committed to the importance of place. This means that they only operate in locations that further the enterprise's purpose and where such operations are directly beneficial to its membership. Decisions about the location of their activities are not to be based on the benefits that accrue to the owners of finance, nor the opportunity to maximize profits. Instead, SHEs are enterprises that are committed to a location and a specific group of people. This often means providing a more secure base for employment and service provision, which commercial businesses would often regard as only marginal locations, such as in many rural areas. Number 8. SHEs do not engage in speculation for profit. This means that they don't get involved in seeking to make profits by speculation or gambling, which has no place in SHEs. Such activities cannot help most of the members. SHEs have a duty to serve their membership in its entirety, and it forms no part of the role of directors or senior managers to speculate or gamble with the savings of members or their mutually owned assets. Number 9. SHEs must only trade with honesty and integrity. This means that they must maintain the highest ethical standards, standards that must guide all economic decision-making in the enterprise. In particular, not being party to any form of exploitation, mis-selling or cheating. Apart from the moral imperative of trading ethically, it should be obvious that if an enterprise tries to shortchange its members or any of the other people that it trades with, this will invariably destroy their trust in that enterprise. And finally, number 10, SHEs achieve economies of scale while retaining democratic control. SHEs need to secure economies of scale while supporting member engagement and democratic member control. Where opportunities are identified to secure the benefits of scale, then the default position ought to be to explore the opportunities for cooperation with other SHEs, always with the intention of offering increased benefits to their members. SHEs must balance the advantages that can be achieved from securing economies of scale with the need to work in ways that will sustain both positive human relationships and democratic control. All of the 10 practices specified are needed to support self-help and mutual action, and to counter the destructive nature of the creation of dependency, short-termism, and speculation, while at the same time encouraging self-help and mutual action and concentrating upon improving the lives and livelihoods of members. The economic system needs to be integral to the overall management system, including the systems of planning and control, and be directly embedded within the reward system. The practices fundamental to the self-help economic system need to be inseparable from the way that the enterprise is run on a day-to-day basis. More specifically, the key result areas for management need to be set based on the achievement of the outcomes from these economic practices, and key result indicators need to be established that measure performance in these areas. In the next video in this series, I outline the system of management required in SHEs and explain why many of the management practices needed in this form of enterprise must differ from those used in commercial businesses. Please check out my website, Co-oppundit.org, for more information. All the explanations and details of the practices required to implement the co-op and self-help enterprise model of enterprise are set out in my book, Enterprises That Change Lives. You can also get details of how to find my book from the website, and you can also go to the Amazon Books website, where you can download a copy of this important book from as little as UK pounds £2.99 or US dollars $3.99, or get a paperback version mailed to you in many different countries. Thanks for watching. I look forward to you joining me for another session